Welcome back to TPS. The 2020 NFL offseason has been perhaps the craziest in history. How many Pro Bowl and Hall of Fame quarterbacks changed teams? And how were so many superstars in their primes traded away? It was hard to narrow it down to the absolute best, but these 10 moves stand out the most. Here are the 10 absolute greatest moves of the 2020 NFL offseason so far. At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video. Number 10, Browns signed Jack Conklin. Bad coaching, an awful locker room culture, and overconfidence led to a dismal 2019 season for the Cleveland Browns, who were widely expected to take that next big step forward. Ownership decided not to play around anymore. Kevin Stefanski replaces Freddie Kitchens as head coach. Andrew Berry takes over the GM chair for John Dorsey. Up next, time to fix that horrible offensive line. Berry did that in the early stages of free agency, inking Tennessee Titans star offensive tackle Jack Conklin to a bargain 3-year deal worth $42 million. We can't confirm, but we're pretty sure Baker Mayfield was amped up about that news. Conklin was a mainstay on Tennessee's O-line, helping Derrick Henry win the rushing title in 2019 en route to an AFC Championship appearance. Conklin has been one of the game's top offensive tackles over the past 4 years, and the Browns are getting him in his prime on a very reasonable contract. Mayfield was sacked a whopping 40 times in his sophomore year. The Browns' O-line was ranked a mere 23rd by Pro Football Focus for the 2019 season. But Conklin and rookie Jedrick Wills are going to change all of that. Number 9, Ravens trade for Calais Campbell. The Ravens have fielded one of the NFL's most complete and ferocious defensive units over the past 2 seasons. It was hard to envision Don Martindale's unit getting much better, but somehow GM Eric DeCosta made it happen. The cap-strapped and essentially tanking Jacksonville Jaguars decided to unload most of their expensive veterans this offseason, so they traded Pro Bowl pass rusher Campbell to Baltimore for only a 5th-round pick. He inked a 1-year extension with his new team immediately. This defense was already scary enough with Earl Thomas, Marlon Humphrey, and Marcus Peters. Now you have Campbell, an elite run stopper with 31.5 total sacks over his last 3 seasons, to supplement the unit. And the Ravens also signed Derek Wolfe before drafting LSU linebacker Patrick Queen in round 1. Campbell promises to be the ultimate difference maker on a team that already had all the pieces in place to compete for a Super Bowl. Number 8, Cowboys draft CeeDee Lamb. Wide receiver was the least of Dallas Cowboys' needs at the 2020 draft, but Oklahoma wideout CeeDee Lamb was simply way too enticing of a prospect for Jerry Jones to pass up. So he just went for it and took Lamb with the 17th overall selection. And who can blame him? Sure, Dallas could have addressed the defensive side of the ball with that pick, or they could have put Lamb alongside Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper to form one of the league's most dangerous pass attacks. The latter seems way better. We thought Gallup, Cooper, and Ezekiel Elliott, along with an elite offensive line, would be more than enough for Dak Prescott to succeed. Now he has Lamb. You're telling me that all of a sudden Gallup is your number 3 receiver? Marvelous work, Jerry. Sometimes you just have to go with value over the position of need. Number 7, Colts signed Phillip Rivers. Losing Andrew Luck to retirement predictably led to a down year in Indianapolis. The Colts offense, guided by Jacoby Brissett, just couldn't get going without their former franchise star, and they finished a disappointing 7-9 on the year. Knowing a QB upgrade was necessary, the Colts signed former Los Angeles Chargers Pro Bowler Phillip Rivers to a low-risk 1-year deal worth $25 million. Rivers had just 23 touchdowns and a whopping 20 interceptions in 2019, leading some to believe that his best days are well behind him. But we think a bounce-back season is far more likely. Rivers, for one, was dealing with a horrid offensive line in 2019, a unit that surrendered 34 sacks. PFF also ranked the Chargers' O-line 29th overall last season. Rivers is heading to a team that had PFF's number 3 ranked O-line from 2019. This is the same unit that allowed the fewest sacks in 2018. So the pass protection alone could make a huge difference for Rivers. Rivers is also reuniting with head coach Frank Reich. Remember him? This guy was the Chargers quarterbacks coach in 2013. You know, the same season when Rivers won the Comeback Player of the Year award. Reich also served as the team's offensive coordinator in 2014 and 15. Rivers now heads an Indy team that isn't lacking in weapons. Just like that, the Colts look like the team to beat in the AFC South once again, or at the very least, they're a borderline wildcard contender, and they could totally make a run at the conference crown too. Number 6, Bills and Vikings pull off Stephon Diggs blockbuster. Both teams already look like mega winners in this trade. It was pretty clear throughout 2019 that Stefon Diggs was playing his final season in Minnesota. He was obviously unhappy there, and the Vikings were set to trade Diggs while his value was at its best. Likewise, the Buffalo Bills were geniuses for making a play on a super talented player that wanted a fresh start, so they acquired Diggs and a 7th rounder in exchange for their 2020 first, 5th, and 6th rounders, plus a 2021 4th rounder. The Vikings found Diggs' replacement with that from the Bills, using the number 22 selection on LSU wideout Justin Jefferson. Big win for many to find a younger and cheaper talent while also avoiding any more drama with Diggs. In the meantime, the Bills finally got themselves a legitimate number 1 receiver to help Josh Allen in the offense. John Brown tuned in a surprise 1,000-yard season for Buffalo in 2019, but he's better suited as a number 2. Diggs is a true game changer who can create so many mismatches all over the field. He'll command more attention from the defenses, opening up more room for Brown, Cole Beasley, and the rushing game. Allen was never going to reach that next level with a lackluster set of receiving weapons. Having Diggs as his new number 1 to supplement Devin Singletary, and the ground game will go a long way. With Diggs in the fold, the Bills, dare we say, look like the team to beat in the AFC East, and they aren't far away from Super Bowl contention. Number 5, Colts snagged DeForest Buckner from 49ers. Like the Diggs trade, you can file this one under win-win. At least that's how we see the Buckner trade playing out. There was no way the 49ers could keep everybody on their front 7. After extending Eric Armstead, Buckner became expendable. GM John Lynch flipped Buckner to the Colts in exchange for the number 13 pick in the 2020 draft. The 49ers traded down 1 spot via the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and took polished South Carolina defensive tackle prospect Javon Kinlaw. With that, the 49ers got a younger and much cheaper replacement who should have no problem replacing Buckner's production. The 49ers were later able to trade up and snag Arizona State wideout Brandon Ayuk to address their need at wide receiver. As for the Colts, they get a complete game changer who's just entering his prime. Buckner, Justin Houston, and Darius Leonard rounding out that front 7? Excellent. After landing Rivers in free agency, it was smart for the Colts to find a proven star who can contribute right away. Now they have balance on both sides of the ball, and they should be considered a dark horse Super Bowl contender in 2020. Number 4, Saints sign Emmanuel Sanders. The New Orleans Saints' biggest need over these past 3 seasons? A reliable number 2 receiver to complement superstar Michael Thomas. As great as can't guard Mike is, every Batman still needs a Robin. Jared Cook became an excellent add to the offense in 2019, but it was clear that the Saints were lacking a capable receiver to take the pressure off of him and Thomas. The latter faces so many double teams after all. Well, the Saints pulled off a coup for the ages in free agency by landing veteran wideout Emmanuel Sanders on a 2-year deal worth $16 million. As a double whammy, they pried him away from the rival 49ers, who are by far the Saints' biggest threat in the NFC. Sanders has been a tremendous number 2 pass catcher his whole career. He was the perfect complement to guys like Antonio Brown in Pittsburgh and Demaryius Thomas in Denver. Sanders has played in 3 Super Bowls, won it all with the Broncos in the 2015 season. He's a proven clutch performer. His game-changing speed and elite route running skills add another dimension to the Saints' offense. Sanders will be a glorious fit in the Breeze and Sean Payton-led offense, and the Saints managed to land him on a bargain 2-year pact. Number 3, Dolphins snag Tua Tagovailoa. The Miami Dolphins' tank job in 2019 didn't exactly go as planned. Ryan Fitzpatrick or Ryan Fitzmagic happened. They won 5 games and only landed the number 5 selection in the 2020 draft. But somehow, in some way, the tank for Tua mission was still a success. Tua's season-ending hip injury obviously scared other teams away. The Bengals safely took Joe Burrow at number 1 overall. Luckily for Miami, the Washington Redskins, Detroit Lions, and New York Giants were already content with their QB situations. And so the Dolphins patiently waited and didn't overthink anything. Tua fell to their laps at number 5 overall, and they picked him over the healthier but less talented Justin Herbert. The Dolphins took one of the most polished and decorated prospects in history. They've spent over 2 decades searching for a true superstar signal caller since Dan Marino's retirement. Worst case scenario, Tua can't stay healthy, doesn't pan out, and they draft a young phenom quarterback down the road. But what if they passed on Tua and watched him become a star elsewhere? It would be just like when they passed on Drew Brees in 2006 and opted to trade for Dante Culpepper instead. Miami already screwed up once by passing on a perennial Pro Bowl quarterback. They couldn't do it here with Tua. If he can stay healthy, keyword if, Tua will change the entire dynamic of this Dolphins franchise their 2019 tank job will have worked out after all. We cannot praise the Fins enough for prioritizing the possible rewards over the risks in this instance. Number 2, Cardinals trade for DeAndre Hopkins. Hey Cardinals fans, how in the world did your team get a top 3 receiver in the NFL while dumping David Johnson's horrible contract in the same deal? From the Houston Texans side, Bill O'Brien pulled off the worst move of the 2020 offseason. From Arizona's side, they pulled off the best trade of 2020, and it's not even close. We thought Kyler Murray had enough weapons in the ageless Larry Fitzgerald, youngsters Christian Kirk and Hakeem Butler, plus flashy running back Kenyon Drake. Then you added Hopkins and a 4th rounder for Johnson, a 2nd rounder, and a 2021 4th round pick. Point is, you got D-Hop for way below market value. Way below market value. Kyler Murray dazzled aplenty in his rookie year, and now he has Hopkins and Fitzgerald as the ultimate dream receiving duo. Second-year head coach Cliff Kingsbury should have a heck of a time running his offense with all these impressive toys. Hopkins instantly makes Arizona a playoff contender again. It won't be long until Murray is the MVP in the conversation. Also, someone sent flowers to Deshaun Watson with a "We're sorry" card. Number 1, BUCS reunite Brady and GRONK. Clearly, Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski come in a package, so we had to put them together as one entry. Signing the 6-time Super Bowl champion to a 2-year, $50 million deal was already a mega win in itself. Then Gronk decided he wanted to play football again, and Bill Belichick was happy to give him away for nothing more than a 4th round pick. Here's the thing. Even if the BUCS aren't legitimate Super Bowl contenders with Brady and Gronk, they're still doing a lot to make this franchise relevant again, since they haven't been in quite a long time, since the Super Bowl 37 championship season. That was when they were relevant. Tampa Bay was assigned 5 primetime games for the 2020 season. Season ticket sales increased rapidly after Brady signed. His jersey sales have gone through the roof as well. Of course, we've only talked about the business side so far, so how about the football side of things? Sure, Brady and Gronk will put more money in the pockets of the BUCS owners, but they'll also make the team competitive for the first time in over a decade. With Chris Godwin and Mike Evans already in the fold, Tampa Bay has the pieces in place to compete for a playoff spot and perhaps a Super Bowl. Which do you think was the best move of the 2020 offseason? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do that by hitting that subscribe button down below as well. If you like the video, then like the video. We'd really appreciate it. And until next time, tune in to TPS for more cool videos every single day. We'll see you. And stay safe.